welcome to the Pica Talk podcast. Pica is a trade association representing the printing, converting, and graphic communications industry in North and South Carolina. Pica Talk is brought to you by platinum sponsors Domtar, Prisco, Athens Paper, Mac Papers and Packaging, Manchester Industries, Recycling Management Resources, and Case Paper. I am Terry McKee, Director of Member Engagement for Pica. Today, I have the honor of chatting with David Boynton Jr. with Athens Paper, a platinum sponsor of Pica, and we will be talking about common paper mistakes that cost printers money. Thank you, Dave, for being with us today.
Thank you, Terry, for having me.
Well, David, let's start it off with a good question here. What considerations should printers have with paper grade or finish for the application?
Well, that's Terry. Good question. A couple different scenarios here. One being that the heavier cover grades for durability, covers, folders, postcards, etc., and lighter text for pages to balance rigidity, foldability, and postage. Another one that we talk about is match finish to usage. For example, gloss for higher impact images, matte silk for readability, and textured for premium tactile pieces where solid coverage is very moderate. You should also probably consider ink coverage and coating holdout. Very absorbent, uncoated stocks, mute color, while high gloss coated can show glare and fingerprints on text-heavy work. There's probably a few others in there as well, but those are a few that kind of come to me.
Sure, absolutely. Got to watch out for that uncoated stock.
That's right.
Absorption of it.
That's right.
Well, let's talk about, the digital revolution is really hot and heavy right now as far as the iron,
Most definite.
But so how can choosing paper that is incompatible with the press or digital engine affect the process? And what considerations should be made?
Incompatible paper, wrong weight, coating, grain, or surface, it could cause jams, misfeeds, double sheets, poor fusing, ink adhesion, excessive curl on the digital engine, definitely.
Right.
On the toner devices, overly textured or very glossy stock can lead to mottling, weak toner, anchorage, and scuffing. Inkjet may have dry time and show through issues on the wrong coating if you use the wrong coating.
Right.
Always check, and this is a key, always check the device that's approved. It has stock lists for each device. Okay. Basis weights, caliper ranges, grain direction recommendations, and always run the test sheets on new substrates before committing to that sheet.
Absolutely. That's critical.
Yep.
It seems like there'd be a lot of paper waste as you're trying to figure these things out. So
could be.
How does underestimating paper waste affect the printing process?
That's a really good question, because there tends to be this tends to be a tremendous issue when it comes to that. Underestimating waste means a few different things. Ordering too few sheets, not enough. Forcing rush reorders, substitutions, or reruns that may kill that job margin and schedule. It hides the true cost per job. So estimating looks fine while actual profitability erodes. Yes. From extra make ready, color, okays, and bindery spoilage. Inadequate waste allowances encourage operators to make do, which can increase the quality effects and reprints.
It sounds like a lot of planning goes involved.
It should be. Should be a lot of planning, yes.
Well, how does planning proper imposition, trims, and bleeds do for estimating sheet yield?
Well, proper imposition, trims, and bleeds maximize usable pieces per sheet and reduce off-cut scrap.
Mm-hmm.
So accounting for bleeds and gripper, non-image areas prevents overestimating sheet yield, so you don't promise the quantities you can't deliver from a given tonnage. Good imposition reduces press setups and plate changes, lowering waste and labor per finished piece. Planning for multiple versions or forms on a layout can also consolidate runs and further improve your yield.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, what causes cracking, poor folds, and reprints from a substrate point of view?
Cracking at the fold often comes from stiff, high bulk, or heavy coated stocks folded without proper scoring or with grain the wrong way.
Yes.
And that's a key component.
Yes.
Lower fiber strength or overly dry sheets can split at the fold, especially on cover weights.
Yeah.
Poor folds and wrinkling come from mismatched caliper or folder settings, weak formation, and wrong grain direction relative to the fold. So all of these are based on fold,
yes,
or based on grain direction.
Perfing is important.
Yes.
Yes. Is important. Well, and let's talk about two-sided printing for a second. Many times in printing, there'll be both sides of the sheet will be printed. And a lot of times, especially with high-end jobs, the ink coverage is intense.
Yep.
So what can printers do with paper to reduce show-through and rejected jobs?
Well, to reduce the show-through, you probably need to look at using higher basis weights, higher opacity grades, or tinted off-white stocks for two-sided.
Okay.
And that's something that a lot of people don't take into place, is the tinted, or maybe using an off-white versus a white.
Yes.
Avoid the very bright, thin sheets for heavy two-sided solids or small type. Specify opaque or bulkier text stocks instead.
Okay.
Align your artwork and imposition to minimize heavy solids back to back in critical reading areas where stock opacity might be marginal.
Right.
And the best thing you can do is run dummies and press proofs on the actual stock.
Yes.
And adjust your ink limits where need be on these running dummies or these press stocks.
Absolutely. People don't appreciate the dummies anymore, and we don't take into that in consideration of running dummies or test stocks on the actual substrate.
Right. And it's very critical especially when you get to a larger job.
Yes.
You really want to make sure you do that.
Well, printers for all times, they've been really into margin and wanting to have enough margin to make money on print jobs. I mean, that's why we're all in this, right?
Right.
So in order to save costs, printers may choose to select low quality or bargain paper on high value client facing work. And why is this not a good idea?
and that really is a good question, because we get that question all the time. Can you find something that's just sitting out there? Can you find something that's a little cheaper? Well, bargain or low quality paper can cause inconsistent color, modeling, and a cheap feel that undermines brand perception on high value client facing work. Poor formation and uneven surface lead to unpredictable ink holdout and registration, which is increasing risk for rejects and reruns. Yeah. Dusty and we've seen some dusty paper, dusty and poorly cut sheets increase downtime
Mhm.
from blanket printhead contamination, jams, and cleaning cycles. And that's a big one, because if we're going to have paper laying around, it's probably because it was cut wrong, or so you just want to be careful with what you get, and we want to be careful with what we sell too.
Absolutely. And it's not saving money if you have to reprint the entire job because of,
You've already lost. Basic right. You've already lost.
yeah, exactly. So you might as well pony up and
at the start. You're right.
Start.
You're right.
You mentioned, paper that's not cut right and stuff like that, the bargain house sheets. But let's talk about storage of paper, because I learned recently that Mr. Carrier, who invented the air conditioner, and we all in the South, we all owe him, a huge debt of.
Right.
He actually invented the air conditioner for a printing shop to store paper. So thank you, Mr. Carrier, and all your relatives. Humidity, temperature, and being unwrapped are not good ways to store paper. So how can these things affect substrates?
Well, high humidity, okay, is going to cause wavy edges, going to cause tight edges, and sticking sheets, and we've all seen that. Low humidity makes paper brittle, increases static, and promotes cracking and misfeeds.
Okay.
Temperature swings, okay, can also create moisture mitigation and curl. So the sheet runs differently day to day and across the presses.
Yeah.
So, and another thing you got to be careful of is when you're using paper that's been unwrapped.
Yes.
This exposes it to dust, and your moisture, and as your moisture changes, your barometer of moisture changing, degrading surface quality and the printability. And
right.
That's where you're going to get, that happens quite a bit, we see.
So maybe printers should wait till the job is on press, ready to go, and unwrap the paper then?
Correct. They need to unwrap it when they're getting ready to run it, give it some time to acclimate.
Yes.
But don't, what we see happen a lot is they'll unwrap it, they'll print some, and then they'll leave this over here and leave it unwrapped, stick in someplace, and then come back 3 days later, a week later, and run some more. And if they're going to do that, they need to go ahead and rewrap that paper.
Yes.
If they keep it on their shelf.
Even if it's like the plastic film, just wrap.
That's it. Probably better is to put some plastic wrap over it.
So why should printers standardize press runs on a core set of house sheets?
Standardizing on house sheets simplifies purchasing, inventory, and estimating, improving cost control, and availability. And availability has been key for the last 2 or 3 years, right? Yeah. Press crews know exactly how house sheets behave, shortening the make ready, reducing waste, and stabilizing color profiles. Also, consistent house stocks make repeat jobs and brand color matching more predictable for customers. So a curated core set of limits SKU sprawl while still covering most applications, being your text, cover, digital, and specialty.
Okay.
So very important that if that's in your, and we're always, as a distributor, we're always talking about house sheets and what's the importance of having a house sheet with a printer.
You just mentioned specialty stocks. One-off jobs, maybe a special job that someone lands for a customer, they often have specialty stocks.
Right.
So what are some considerations printers should have when ordering specialty stocks? I know you mentioned availability.
Well, specialty stocks often have long lead times, mill minimums, or limited basis weights and sizes. These offerings must be confirmed before promising these ship dates, or you could be in for a rude awakening.
Yeah.
You should always check the press compatibility, being digital certification, grain, caliper, etc. Finishing behaviors, foil, emboss, skull. Is it being folded? And what is the required for overage for testing? Very
Right.
critical there.
Hmm.
Consider obsolescent risk on a one-off color or text. We get that all the time.
Yes.
Always have a plan in place, whether it's an alternate usage or return options if the job cancels. Very key.
Okay.
And always run drawdowns. Talk about your dummies that we were talking about before, or
Yeah.
test runs on the actual stock to avoid surprises on the color, cracking, or anything like that.
Okay. That's good to know. It's good to know. You mentioned again the mill availability and all this. So why is it important to confirm mill availability and lead times in printing sales? And at what point should that question be asked? Like in the printing sales lifespan?
I'll answer that first. That question should be asked first and foremost, especially in today's world.
Okay.
Um, if as soon as you're thinking about a paper, best thing to do is say, hey, is this paper available? Is it still, where are we at with it? That's
Right.
the first. And to me, that should be up front.
Okay. Yep.
The lead times always affect whether you can hit a client with the due date, especially with lean mill inventories. And
Yes.
they're more and more. What's the word? Is it more and more lean these
Yeah.
days? More and more leaner, I guess. The specialty grades, colors, or basis sizes may be made to order with extended lead times or allocations. So if they're looking for something that's off of kind of a specialty that we're talking about, and we have to do a different basis weight or different color, maybe off color, it's going to be a different lead time.
Sure.
Early confirmation prevents last minute substitutions that might have to change, whether it's brightness, color, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want the last minutes when it causes problems.
Yes.
So,
So our last question, why should printers scrutinize vendor overage estimates?
vendor overestimates can quickly inflate your paper order, and that's one of the biggest main concerns. Tying up your cash in excess in inventory is overstating the job cost. That's the biggest. I mean, it's great to have that question at the very end because we see that all the time.
Right.
There's some overage factors are conservative or generic. If not scrutinized, they may not match your actual press waste and spoilage history. Right. So you're into a give or take there, and it's gonna hurt you at the end.
Sure. Well, Dave, tell us a little bit about Athens Paper, because you guys are a platinum sponsor of PIGA, and we thank you so much for that.
And we're happy to be.
Tell us a little bit about Athens Paper and how people can contact you or a rep and for their paper needs.
Well, Athens, and thank you, Terry. Athens Paper. We've been around for 50 some years. Mm-hmm. And excuse me, because I've been with Athens Paper now close to 2 years, so I'm kind of a rookie with Athens Paper.
Right.
But we're growing. Business is really good. As far as Athens, Charlotte, we're expanding into certain different markets, which is good. If you need any help or anything on that end, we have currently 7 salespeople, or myself. Feel free to call me here at Athens Paper in Charlotte, or you can email as well. And my email address is dboynton@athenspaper.com. And we are so happy to be part of PICA. We will continue, and we look forward to a great year, and look forward to being a career member with PICA.